There's folks at home watching, and they send us questions about the movers and shakers at Sundance. We stick them into this hat.
Oh, great.
We ask you to pull out a question.
What is the strangest thing that happened to you at an audition? I did a lot of commercial auditioning. That process is really weird, as it'd always be like, all right, so you're sitting in the chair, okay? You're driving your car. You reach for the Dorito. Cop pulls over. Think The Office.
I get so nervous, like I've thrown up before, but I passed out in an audition. Like flat out, just passed out. I definitely didn't. I didn't get the part. Yeah.
Like that chick faints.
Yeah.
Moving on.
I had to sing for an audition. I actually auditioned for Moulin Rouge, and I had to sing and dance. I didn't get the role.
We know how it turned out.
That's self-evident.
One time I had to pretend to lick an invisible toilet bowl while keeping eye contact with the camera, and that is one of the most degrading experiences that has ever been suggested to me.
Well, there was one time, it was like right when I'd moved out to LA, and I'd noticed that like a lot of British dudes were in movies. So I had this audition, and I was like, all right. I was like, I'm gonna try something. I was like, I'm gonna walk in, pretend like I'm an English dude, and then when I have to start acting, I'll just talk like myself. So then I start doing that, and they're like, oh, wow, it's like your American accent's great. And I was like, I get a call back, and the director's from England. And I was like, oh, I'm not, I had like researched like a school, I had like a backstory, but I was like, oh, this guy will see right through me. I was silent. I never heard from them again.
I auditioned for a Broadway musical, and I knew that I wasn't gonna get it. And I could tell about like 8 bars in that they weren't interested, so I was just like, you've had enough, I've had enough, I'm done. And I just walked out. And then I also struggled with diarrhea, but that's it.
I showed up to an audition on the wrong day, but I like showed up thinking, oh, why does like nobody prepared, and am I like waiting around for like an hour here, and I felt like the biggest dickhead afterwards. I just like, what a moron.
The sides went totally out of my head, and I just lost it, and I started just blubbering and flubbing everything and apologizing and turning very red, and the casting director turns to the other director and goes, oh, he's embarrassed. Like that. I was like, thank you very much. And I packed my up and left and cried on the subway on the way home. It was terrible.
We all feel that way when we meet Tyler Perry for the first time.
After I got canned at SNL, I went on unemployment.
Did you really walk into the office and they're like, what was your previous job? You're like, SNL?
No, like you could print the form at home, which
Nice.
which I did, but because I'm a conservationist,
Right.
I had printed the audition onto the paper that I reused in the printer, and I did the audition, and on the back of the paper was my unemployment application.
The character was this woman who'd had something traumatic happen, so I was sort of, and the casting director stopped me and she said, she's completely catatonic. I said, okay, got it. And so I tried to be more catatonic, and she stopped me again. She was like, she's completely catatonic. She gave me that same note probably 8 times. So by the end of the audition, I was just like, like saying the lines. I was like, is that right? And then I got a note that was like, she was doing nothing. She barely made any choices. And I was like, do you know what catatonic means? Because it was the only note that you gave me.
She's like, no, but it's a big word.